the parchment sounding board, nor from the strings, nor from the hollow arm, nor from the bindings, nor from the plectrum, nor from the person who plays it, nor from this person's exertions or knowledge. It is just the combination of all of these which makes the sound conceivable. And as it is stopped, the sound also does not go anywhere. Just so the perfect body of Buddhas and Lords is dependent on causes, dependent on conditions, and it is brought to perfection through exertions which lead to many wholesome roots. But the augmenting of Buddha body does not result from one single cause, nor from one single condition, nor from one single wholesome root. This is also not without cause. This is co-produced by a totality of many causes and conditions, but does not come from anywhere. So, also as this totality of causes and conditions cease to be, this does not go to anywhere. Thus is viewed the coming and going of Tathagatas, and this conforms to true nature of all dharmas. And it is just as this is naturally recognized as Tathagatas, and also all dharmas, are neither produced nor stopped, you are fixed on full enlightenment, and you definitely course in perfection of wisdom and in skill in means. As this disquisition of the fact Tathagatas neither come nor go is being taught, the earth and the entire great trichiliocosm shakes in 6 ways, stirs, quakes, gets agitated, resounds and rumbles. And all the realms thought to be and seen as of Mara are stirred up and discomfited. All the grasses, shrubs, and herbs and trees in the great trichiliocosm bend in the direction of the Bodhisattva Dharmodgata. Flowers come up out of season. From high up in the air a great rain of flowers comes down. And Sakra, chief of gods, and the 4 great kings scatter and pour heavenly sandalwood powder and heavenly flowers over the Bodhisattva Dharmodgata, and say, "Well spoken, son of good family. Through your might we hear a sermon which issues from ultimate reality, which is contrary to the whole world, and which gives no ground to any beings which are established in any of the views which involve the assumption of an individuality, or have settled down in any of the views which assume the existence of something which is not." Sadapuruddhata now asks Dharmodgata, what is the cause, what is the reason why this great earthquake is manifested in the world? Dharmodgata, in consequence of your asking for this disquisition on the non-coming and non-going of Tathagatas, and through my exposition of this, 8,000 living beings acquire patient acceptance of dharmas which fail to be produced, 80 nayutas of living beings raise their hearts to full enlightenment, and of 64,000 living beings the dispassionate, unstained dharma eye is purified for vision of dharmas. Sadapuruddhata's self-sacrifice. The Bodhisattva Sadapuruddhata now has a supreme, most sublime feeling of zest and joy. It is a gain to me, a very great gain by asking for perfection of wisdom, and for this disquisition, I have wrought the wheel of so many beings. This alone brings me merit sufficient for the accomplishment of full enlightenment. Unquestionably, I become a Tathagata. In his zest and joy he rose 7 palm trees high into the air, and, standing at the height of 7 palm trees, he reflected, how can I, standing here in the air, do honor to the Bodhisattva Dharmodgata? Sakra, chief of gods, now sees him, and reads his thoughts, presents him with heavenly mandarava flowers, and says to him, honor the Bodhisattva Dharmodgata with these heavenly flowers. For we feel in this, we honor the man who helps you. Today your might rots the wheel of many thousands of living beings. Rare are the beings who, like you, have the strength, for the sake of all beings through countless eons, to bear such great burden. The Bodhisattva Sadapuruddhata now takes the mandarava flowers from Sakra, chief of gods, and scatters these over the Bodhisattva Dharmodgata. He presents the Bodhisattva Dharmodgata with his own body, and said to him, I give you myself as a present, and I am your attendant and servant from today onwards. And with hands together he stands before Dharmodgata. The merchant's daughter and her 500 maidens said to the Bodhisattva Sadapuruddhata, we in our turn make a present of ourselves to you, son of good family. Through this wholesome root we also become recipients of just these dharmas, and together with you we again and again honor and revere the Buddhas and Lords, and the Bodhisattvas, and we remain near to you. Sadapuruddhata replied, as you, maidens, in accordance with my own earnest intention, give yourselves with earnest intention to me, I accept you. The maidens replied, we are in accord with you, and with earnest resolution we give ourselves as presents to you, to do with us as you may. Here and now the Bodhisattva Sadapuruttha presented the merchant's daughter and her 500 maidens, embellished and adorned, together with their 500 well-decorated carriages, to the Bodhisattva Dharmodgata, and said, "All these I present to you as attendants and servants, and also the carriages for your own use." Sakra, chief of gods, applauded him and said, "Well done, son of good family." A bodhisattva renounces any and all property. Through this thought of renunciation one soon realizes full enlightenment, and the worship one pays thus to exponents and preachers of Dharma enables one to hear about perfection of wisdom and skill in means. Also in these 3 times Tathagatas, as these still are bodhisattvas, do, by this fact these renounce everything, procure a claim to realization of full enlightenment, and these also ask questions about perfect wisdom and about skill in means. The Bodhisattva Dharmodgata accepted Sadapuruttha's gift, so his wholesome root might reach fulfillment. Immediately afterwards, he returned this to Sadapuruttha. After this all, now the Bodhisattva Dharmodgata goes into his house. The sun is about to set. The Bodhisattva Sadapuruttha thinks to himself, "It does not indeed appear seemly for me, who comes here out of love for Dharma, to sit or to lie down. I remain either standing or walking, until the Bodhisattva Dharmodgata again comes out of his house, in order to reveal Dharma to us." The Bodhisattva Dharmodgata remains for 7 years immersed in one uninterrupted state of trance, and he dwelt in countless thousands of concentrations, peculiar to bodhisattvas, which issue from perfection of wisdom and skill in means. For 7 years Sadapuruttha adopted any other posture than sitting or lying down, and he did not fall into sloth and torpor. For 7 years he never feels any preoccupation with sense desires, or with ill will, or with harming others. He never feels any eagerness for tastes or any self-satisfaction. But he thinks, when does the Bodhisattva Dharmodgata emerge from his trance, so we may spread out a seat for him, and hereon he may demonstrate Dharma, and so we may sprinkle well the place he reveals perfection of wisdom and skill in means, anoint this well and bedeck it with manifold flowers? And the merchant's daughter with her 500 maidens follow this example, passed their time in 2 postures only, and accorded with all his works. One day Bodhisattva Sadapuruttha heard a heavenly voice which said, "On the 7th day from today the Bodhisattva Dharmodgata emerges from his trance, and he at this time, seated in the center of the town, demonstrates Dharma." As Sadapuruttha hears the heavenly voice, he is contented, elated, joyous, overjoyed and jubilant. Together with the merchant's daughter and her 500 maidens he cleans the ground, spreads out the seat made of the 7 precious things, takes off his upper garment, and spreads it on top of the seat. The maidens also took off their upper garments, spread their 500 upper garments on this seat, and thought, "Seated on